Hey friends, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I am the TheTranspondster, and today I am hanging out with you in The Sims 4 like I always do, and we are building in Sulani. I've done a couple builds in Sulani now, but this is the first residential rental lot that I've built here. Probably the only one I'll build here. I'm for the most part only doing one per world because I am ultimately limited in how many lots I can have, like rental lots I mean, in game without cheats or mods. So yeah, I'm just trying to make it really user friendly and I guess console friendly too, even though I don't play console, so I can't test it in each build. But yeah, I'm just trying to make them pretty much cheat mod free, with the exception of ones that won't affect your gameplay if you were to download it. Like, I do use Better Build By to organize my catalog, and then I use Tool on occasion. I do actually use it in this build to put a couple items closer to the beach that the residents of this lot can go and use. So it is convenient to have for that sort of reason, especially when working on a save file. I'm not using it a whole lot, but a little bit here and there. So anyway, I'm making this save file based on realistic places and realistic builds. So this one here, being that it's in Sulani, kind of a tropical island destination, we're basing it off of Hawaii just to, I guess, make it simple. Google Maps has lots of images of Hawaii. I have noticed when I start going to places outside of the US and Canada and UK, it's hard to find shots, especially up in mountain ranges. Granted, I didn't try any other tropical places, but Hawaii was an easy default. So we're doing these cute beach houses here. They're all a different color, and they're all going to be 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. The upstairs level is actually going to be a loft, which I've designated as the master bedroom area, although there is a bedroom downstairs that has access to the front deck, much like the upper level has access to the balcony. So you'll be able to enjoy the outdoors from the master bedroom, whether you put it downstairs or upstairs. So you have the flexibility to actually make it 2 bedrooms and like more living space on the upper level, but you do have 2 full bathrooms as well. So I do only furnish 1 in full, but the other 3 are fully move-in ready, meaning you've got the bathrooms and kitchen done, all your light fixtures, your wallpaper, and your flooring. All the necessities to move in and make the place your own, but not have to worry about floor plans for the most part, because that much is done for you. So I'd say it's a finished shell, maybe. Anyway, I do fully furnish 1 just because I wanted to leave the other 3 available to move in for gameplay. I'm trying not to populate the worlds too much, as much fun as it is for me to create The Sims. I just wanted it to be very playable, and when I play games, like in Sims, obviously, because I mainly just play the one game, I like to have options for moving into houses and lots of space to do that, and then even create families that I'm not necessarily playing but with love interest for the Sims I'm playing, because there's no potential love matches in the world out and about. Although that is the point of creating the save file, is for me to have to do that way less, and I just want to share it with everybody else. So thanks for everyone hanging out with me while I do this for what seems like the rest of my life, because The Sims is just going to keep creating more worlds for me to have to redo, and I am just trying to play major catch up. We are a year into this. I I enjoy it thoroughly, and hopefully you guys are too, enough so that you're subscribing. Please and thank you. Shameless plug there in the middle of my video, or early middle, I guess. I like how these have a very beachy feel to them. It really helps being next to the beach. I'm excited for you guys to see the boardwalk that ends up going down the middle of this, and the community space that I've created on the exterior of this lot. I said that kind of funny. By exterior of the lot, I kind of mean because they're individual houses, they share this like outdoor area. But then they have massive decks on the bottom and then massive balconies on the upper level. So there's plenty of private outdoor space too. So I think that's really a big selling feature of these places. They're not your typical residential rental. They're not apartment units. They're not even townhomes. They're very much full on homes for you to come move into. It was important to make them 3 bedrooms and have all the amenities needed to feel like you're living the best life on the beach here, even though you're technically renting. It's just my sneaky way of getting myself more units or houses in game, I guess. Plus, it makes use of this massive lot. This is actually the shipwreck or plane wreck lot where the entire living area was underground. So I thought it was a neat build that EA had in there, but I bulldozed it like I do all the other ones, and this is what I'm putting in place of that. Much more cheery. Although it still has a volcano somewhat nearby, and that cave, I don't know if you see it peeking off in the back corner, but that's a convenient access point to, you know, some hidden areas in Sulani that you can go and explore. I really love debug plants. I will never rave about it enough. I use them all the time because they're for the most part free, and especially when building budget-friendly homes, like, you can't go wrong. I also find it easier to blend the lot better with the world when you use debug, because usually that's what debug is. It's all the stuff you find out and about in the worlds from the expansion or game pack that it comes with. This is the boardwalk I was talking about. I end up making it have like a bunch of steps down throughout. I get lights along it, and I get a hot tub area at the end. So yeah, I was really excited to get this in there. I also have some bikes. I'm kind of assuming that the bikes that I put out and about in the world are usable. They're just not really property of anyone, so maybe you could even steal them. I'll have to see how that works one day when I'm in gameplay. I have all these ideas, but I don't always have time to test them because I just like building so much. I pretty much only do gameplay when I'm doing my not so berry challenge, and I don't really want to always throw like test stuff in my let's play, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the little hot tub area I was talking about. It ends up being kind of cute, and I feel like it's a good community space. There's something sort of for all ages here, and kind of whatever your hobbies are. If it's just lounging about, there's going to be a little playground for the kids, and then I'm also going to have a garden space that you've probably already seen me putting in on the opposite side from those monkey bars and the swing set. We'll also, by the end of the build, have a slide in for toddlers to use. So like I said, everyone's happy here. We'll get a telescope for your nerdy, maybe scientific sims, anyone that wants to really build their logic skills up. But yeah, here's where I'm using Tool just a little bit to put some items down by the beach, and I like how it turns out. It just makes the space look more purposeful, and used, which I feel like it would be if there's all these homes here right beside the beach. I feel like they'd also get snagged up pretty quick, because who doesn't want to live in a cute little beach home like this? I put this market table here too. I almost forgot about that one. I guess I technically did, but I put that there so that your Sims can go and sell any craftables that they might be making, or if they're finding stuff out and about in Sulani. So yeah, I feel like these twinkle lights are definitely a vibe. I am feeling it. This is exactly what I picture when I picture like a beach oasis area, anything tropical or resorty. I don't have any personal experience. I've never left Canada. I live a boring travel-free life. I obviously travel sometimes within the country, but I should specify within my province that I live, because I have only left the province I live in one time. So yeah, I have fun in like modest travel, but I still have to explore the world, guys. I'm pretty eager and also scared to do that one day, and that day will be probably pretty far in the future, because I do not want to do that with the young kids that I have. Yeah, it just isn't in the cards right now, which is totally okay. I don't really have a travel bug. I'm just, thinking about it because of this beautiful beach that I'm building on right now. I'm so ready for summer weather. I don't love the heat, but I like being able to go outside and not freeze. So that is a big bonus of the warm weather being here now. And the beach vibe here is super fitting for that. All the bathrooms and floor plans in all 4 houses are the same. They're all very light wood tones, flooring and all of that. I tried to use a lot of the Island Living pack when it came to the build, so there aren't too many packs being used. And then a big bonus is that all of these homes do have their own washer and dryer as well, so you won't have to travel all the way to Willow Creek to use the laundromat that I built way back at the beginning of my channel. Every once in a while I throw that video at the end of like one of my newer videos to click on for your next one, but I might skip that this time. There's so many other builds I feel like you'd much rather watch if you're into the apartment style or multiple unit lots that are a little bit longer in video length. So that's probably what I'll throw at the end for you to click on if you want to watch that too, which, by the way, that also helps out a huge amount if you click those videos at the end of not even just mine but like YouTubers videos in general. Apparently that's supposed to let YouTube know that the video is good enough that you want to watch more, and then it thinks, oh, we should recommend this to other people. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I just kind of learned that from watching other YouTubers and have heard it mentioned here and there. So yeah, I like to believe that because I always try and click those end videos of the YouTubers I like, just to, I don't know, help however I can, if that makes sense. I'm getting really rambly here because there's only so much you can say about building the same kitchen a few times. I will say, though, that there is a lot of space when it comes to furnishing these units. I was able to get a bar in the one unit that I did furnish, and some of the downstairs space is just kind of dead space. There's just some tables with some decorative items and nothing much going on, where you could totally utilize that for hobby items, or like some of the bigger ones especially that you might not fit in a lot of builds. I'm thinking specifically the ones from Eco Lifestyle because they take up such a large amount of space for the big machines that you need to craft the items. But I think that this build would be workable for that. I decorate this home for a family of 4 to live in. I imagine they have 2 young daughters that actually share a room despite there being 3 bedrooms, just because the 1 bedroom technically has a door to the front porch, and it's the same porch that enters the house. So it's not like closed off or separate. So it could be like a safety concern for parents, and I feel like if I'm building realistic homes, it's best to not throw the children in that bedroom. So they share a room, and then that bedroom with an access point to the outside is the home gym. And I feel like that's something that as the 2 daughters age up, they can kind of grow into having their own bedrooms and separate spaces. And then the family gym can be moved upstairs to the balcony. Even it's in Sulani. Really, how much weather damage would it get up there? I don't know if it rains a whole lot, but the balcony is covered. It'll be fine. It's just The Sims. That's where we can give this realism a little bit of a break. I also love how I got a couple seating areas in here. There's lots of entertaining space, so like you'll get full use out of that bar back there. And I just think that it's a good family home. There's lots of space for the family to collect at the end of the day, the kids to sit and do their homework while the parents cook dinner and unwind after their work days. And then upstairs is kind of like this private kid-free hideaway, because all the kids' stuff would be downstairs near their room. And the girls are getting older, so they're kind of growing out of the toys and stuff anyways. The parents just have all this space upstairs to themselves. I get a little desk area in, and like another seating area even. So like I keep reiterating, these lots have a lot of space. So even though they are rentals, these rentals are well worth it, because realistically, the default pricing in the game is never that expensive, so you're getting bang for your buck. I mean, it would go a little higher up in price depending on the furnishings that you're needing to buy to put in the home. But obviously, if you're playing an established sim, that wouldn't be as big of a concern, because once you get up a few levels in careers, it's fairly easy to make money in this game for the most part, especially if you do something like be a painter or an author and you're just rolling in the big bucks with those royalties and painting masterpieces. I feel like that's where it's at. The creative careers, I just notice you tend to really make it in those. Far more easier than things like acting and stuff like that. I ended up stylizing this home at a certain point to the boho and island furnishing style, just because I feel like if you're living on the beach, you want to feel that vibe throughout. So I really, really tried to go for that here. There's lots of blues, lots of light wood tones, lots of natural colors, greens. It's just very fresh and airy and earthy, and I love it. It's like my dream vacation home. I don't know if I'd want to live on a beach. I kind of like the woodsy vibe a little bit better for myself. It just feels more quiet, whereas the beach, you have a lot of seagull noises and waves crashing on windy days, which, don't get me wrong, those sounds are another level of relaxation. But I just like the sound of leaves rustling a little bit better, and you know, the smell of campfire, stuff like that. That's where it's at for me. So yeah, beach for vacation, middle of the woods to eventually disappear to one day. That is the dream. Maybe I'll build my dream home on here soon. To be honest, the only reason I haven't done like my dream home build is because I feel like my dream home changes every couple of years, and it just wouldn't be accurate eventually. So how can I narrow it down to like, this is my dream home? Because my dream home's just always going to change with my person as my person grows in its character, and and I'm talking about myself in a weird like third person context for a second there, which got a little confusing for myself, maybe not you, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't know, it's a lot of pressure to narrow something down and say this is the dream home, because I have lots of dreams for a home that necessarily wouldn't all mesh well together. But I will say that a floor to ceiling library with a ladder that I have to use to get to the top, that's definitely part of any dream home. And then maybe like an island in the kitchen is pretty important. And I kind of love the waterfall countertops, although I don't know how realistic that would be. I feel like it would encourage spills to go to the floor, but gravity also does that. So it's a little bit of a lose-lose there. I haven't yet made the family that's going to live here, but I don't intend for the girls to be the same age. They aren't twins. They're just going to be very close in age and share a room just for the sake of it. Like I was saying a little earlier, they're not spending a huge amount of time indoors because they do live on the beach. They're going to be out swimming lots and hanging out at the swing set, at the picnic benches, all sorts of stuff outside. I would never be in the house if I lived at the beach. Not gonna lie, I am a water girl. I always loved being in the lake and could literally spend hours straight. My friend and I would go to her trailer and spend like 8 hours at the beach, literally in the water, just like wading water and chit-chatting. And yeah, summers were tons of fun when I had no responsibility as a teenager and life was totally amazing and didn't have a job at the time that I really needed to care about or rely on to pay bills, because lived with my parents. And if that is your situation, even if you want to get out super super bad just for the pure freedom of it or independence, but yeah, enjoy living at home, because one day you will miss it, because believe me, I wanted that independence so bad. But little did I know that independence came with responsibility that I maybe shouldn't have rushed growing out of, to be honest, because why not have limited responsibility for as long as possible without it being like a freeloading situation? Because I was pretty young when I left home. Not that I was young enough that I shouldn't have a job at all, which I definitely did. I had a few jobs, but that's how I was able to leave home. Anyway, off topic, totally random. Yeah, I just, yeah, enjoy living at home, even if you feel like it's the worst thing ever, because one day you might miss it. Obviously, that's not everyone's situation. Sometimes home life really is terrible and it is best to get away from it. So I'm sorry if you can't stay, but if that's not your situation and you are able, just have a different perspective on it for a minute and try and enjoy it. I tried to make this little home gym inspirational and throw some posters up just to make the walls not look super bare. I made the walls in each unit somewhat match the exterior of each unit, if that makes sense. So this one was like a purpley gray, so I just made all the walls that color to make it easier. Plus it is a rental, so you kind of need the landlord's permission to do it. I'm not making the people that live here the landlords. Will just default the usual. I think his name's like Panya Lee or something like that. Panya. I'm terrible with pronouncing names, especially not names that I'm familiar with or names that I'm not familiar with. Why am I talking weird? Oh, and then I decided last minute that this family should have a dog too, because they have the space for this dog to go run around. So why not? They're going to have a nice big dog when I create them, so long as I remember when I'm creating a sim, which eventually that video will come out following this one too. So if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss that, and let me know in the comments your favorite part of this build. Like I said earlier, absolutely adore the boardwalk, but literally all the hanging lights that make it a vibe just finish this build for me. So yeah, let me know what you liked best. Leave a like, show your support however you're willing to, and most importantly, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye guys.